CFG GameCast, episode number 123, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on the Fridays and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. So show us some love. Give us a follow, a like, a comment, what have you on any podcast services out there. That definitely goes a long way. Or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today are my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
A lot. Just no gaming this week. I've had some family stuff come up. My third-party family of 25 years. I grew up with them, and so I've been helping them out. So I haven't really been home much, or I've been over at Smitty's house, and I've had no energy to play any games over there. But also, watching baby when I'm over there, so I'm not doing much anyways except doing that, which takes a lot out of you. But yeah, that
is rude to call Smitty a baby.
I know, I'm sorry.
Wow. this guy
oh,
got him.
Burn.
You know who's not a baby?
Let's go. You can't put your own introduction like that. That's not how that works. How dare you?
I'm here to step on toes, son.
Squish. Got him.
You know what? For that, no, I'm not accepting that whatsoever. No, that's my thing. Hey,
Yes.
Hey Lex, you know who's been a Destiny 2 whore the past 3 days?
Oh, I know.
The 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty on the third seat. Now that's how you do it. That is how you do it.
Good. It's been another crazy week in my world, work-wise. I'm keying out a little bit. It's been good though. Like I kind of like Lex. I went hard in the paint when Witch Queen dropped. We played 16. I think we streamed for 16 or 17 hours straight. So I'm close to getting up to raid levels, which I'm gonna be working with the group for the Zuzu's clan and all that stuff. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be a day one raid on the 5th of March. So that's going to be dope. Other than that, though, I haven't started Forbidden West yet. I do plan on starting that here soon because we got that spoiler cast. I know I'm terrible. A couple other things, though. We finished Avatar, the Avatar show, the cartoon, and man, that was so good. That was my first time watching it. We watched it as a family. Yeah.
Wait, which one? Avatar?
Original.
Oh.
Because no one says the second one is good, is the best one. No one says that.
It was so good, man. Like I just wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. Yeah, it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. So we finished that. Started Legend of Korra, and then we just finished The Expanse as well.
You finished The Expanse? Wow.
Show. Yeah, love it. I think this is the last
completely
season.
Over? Is it done?
I think so, but I need to double check. I'm not 100% sure. But what I saw, it said it was a season finale, but I swore it said that was the last season of it. So
okay. If it's a season finale, then it's not the last season. It's a series finale is what you're looking for.
I think it's the series finale. Like, I think the description just settles the season finale, but I think it was actually the series finale. It was good. Regardless. And then I was at the Level Up Expo earlier today. I had the honor of emceeing a panel for Cyanide and Happiness, Rob Demblecker and Dave McElfitrick. I nailed it earlier. But yeah, that was awesome. And then this Sunday, I'll be back over there emceeing a couple panels: Sailor Moon, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, and then Cyanide and Happiness again. So it's been good. It's been busy as hell. What about you, Mine?
Very nice. I would have to say though, like before we go to me, Which is 6 seasons is the end of the Expanse. Okay, so it is the end of the Expanse, like what Lex was saying.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
You could have said it.
Yeah,
but
it was good. It was really good.
I need to put it's on my list. But right now I'm watching. I'm doing the run through right now of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Right.
So after I'm done with Deep Space Nine, then it's Voyager.
Yes, but I love Voyager.
Well, I want to know, like, see, the thing with Voyager is I never gave Voyager a chance back in the day. I stopped after Deep Space Nine. So
I know.
Was Sam Beckett or
no.
Not Sam Beckett.
That's with the girl, the woman,
the female captain. That
I don't know.
Voyager is my dad's favorite.
You're talking about Scott Bakula on Enterprise. That's what you're talking about.
Bakula, yeah.
Sorry, not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not. I see. Okay, I don't know what it is with me, but this is just me personally. But I hate it when the series is going ahead and then they decide to go backwards, and that drives me insane. Like it's like, okay, you've established, like, you literally did 20 years of like futureness, and now you're going back. Then you're trying to put a twist into the Roddenberry universe by just going to say, here's the very first Enterprise ship or whatever and stuff. It's like, I don't care. I know, like, ever since Captain Kirk's thing, you had a really crappy ship compared to the ships that you have now. It's like, there you go, you know? Yeah. So there you go. So I don't know. Then I'll try Discovery, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna take a break off of Discovery for a little bit, but we'll see. But no, but for me, I've been super busy this week. I've been just trying to get besides like the big thing is I'm trying to buy a house, and because I'm tired of the apartment renting. So I have been so I've been on this run on just like, looking at places as well as like, making sure everything is straight and everything. So that has been an adventure in itself, while at the same time been doing some really cool like stuff for Pop Culture Gems. I literally talked to 3 people today, and then interviews that are coming up front. Then at the same time playing some Horizon Forbidden West, and I already have some pretty interesting opinions in that game, but we'll hold that off until the the podcast for it. But other than that, I mean, it's just been a busy week just in general. Even the regular job has just been like killing me, it's just been killing me. I don't know what's been going on. So but yeah, yeah, that's just this is what it is. So let's just but we'll just keep on going. But before we go, I just want to say, like, would you say like Avatar itself, is it like, has to be like, Avatar is an iconic series in my opinion. Like I think that they did a really good job in the first series. But like, would you say it's like one of your top 10 in your top 10?
I would say easily. Absolutely. I mean, just the character development and something like Zuko. I mean, what a character arc for that dude alone, and everything about it. Toph, I absolutely, loved her. Like, the characters are all uniquely different, but they all, I mean, I don't know. They're like, it was like, I mean, it's crazy. And I'm watching this stuff with my daughter and Scorp Kitty, and I'm over here laughing at little things, or like, like, oh snap, or, it's crazy. Like, I never thought that, like, starting out, I was just like, all right, dude, we'll see what this is all about. And like, I really got into the show more than I realized that I would have. I knew it was good. I didn't realize it was that good. Did I shed a little tears? Maybe towards the end.
Don't judge me. That you waited that. I'm surprised that you waited like that it was this long. I didn't know that. I thought
it just wasn't really. I had heard people, but like, there's so many other shows that I've been watching, and films and games and everything. I have to be very selective, and that just presents itself, especially as us being able to watch it as a family, because there's a lot still that we can't watch that's a little too adult. So having stuff like that, to be able to watch as a family I think I probably had more fun than she did. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you understand this, but this is really good.
That is hilarious. All right, I know y'all folks don't want to be hearing about our about Smitty's run on the Avatar, so let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic or discussion of video games within like video games or the video game industry each and every week. The topic would or could be something about a game itself or something about that's happening in gaming, the gaming industry itself. And we also don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners, on Twitch.tv. You know, I was about to say Twitter, but I didn't. So that's how professional I am on Twitch to be a part of the conversation. So by all means, type it inside the chat if there's something that you're wanting to chime in about. We would love to talk about it amongst y'all, amongst folks here. So we will definitely get this party started with Lex.
Me.
So what do you bring to the table?
Well, before I go into like the heavy part of my main topic, just a quick little blurb, I guess, for you guys, is a lot of game footage is being blasted across social media. Some news sources, but mostly out of the country because the US, I feel like, has kind of figured out that route at this moment. Not to say it hasn't happened, but a lot of the popular tweets and footage that is being shown is actually Arma, specifically Arma 3. It's game footage. And it's not actually what is happening in Ukraine. And, you know, the smaller the video on your phone, the easier it is to miss that it's actually video game footage. But, you know, hundreds of thousands of people are seeing this and thinking that's what's happening in Ukraine. Not to say that what's happening in Ukraine isn't as horrific. It's just not actual footage. And so it's been circulating on media. So just be wary if you're going to retweet or interact with something that shows what looks like to be actual footage. Just do your due diligence, because it's like we've always been told, not everything you see or read is the truth. And there's a lot of yellow journalism out there. There's a lot of interesting memes. And they're not necessarily the truth. So just do your due diligence and make sure that what you are sharing is, you know, what's actually happening. Last night, yesterday, a lot of people woke up at 5 a.m. overseas to shells being dropped. One of the Ukrainian planes was shot out of the sky by Russia. And so today we've heard from actual video game companies, because a lot of them aren't just based in the US, and it's silly for us to think that, but a lot of them are, they have people from overseas that work for them. A lot of companies are overseas, and not just in Ukraine, but Poland and different areas. So CD Projekt, Bungie, GOG, and others have joined the outcry against Russia's invasion of Ukraine. #FuckTheWar. Game studios pledge support for Ukraine as Russian invasion continues. Again, this is absolutely horrific what they're going through. As their own city, as being free people, they don't want to go into a fight. It's now that they have to. There's been a lot of talk. We're a peaceful nation, and in all the years since we gained our independence, we've never attacked or threatened anyone. Because of this situation, our work will be impacted and our lives can be destroyed. But there was something interesting when I was reading through this. Obviously, they're trying to storm Kiev right now, and a lot of the indie developers who have spoke up are currently in Kiev, and a lot of them are trying to take it into their own hands that their workers and their partners and families aren't just getting help and escaping, but that they're safe, which I think is really commendable, especially in a situation where everyone's kind of scrambling and trying to get help. The future is unknown, but we hope for the best. And we are ever sure our armed forces and our belief in Ukraine. And it's just horrifying to read. But there was one game in particular, and it was interesting to hear from them. They're a Kiev-based developer. They posted the flag and the hashtag Stand with Ukraine on Twitter. We are safe. We continue our work remotely for the moment. But these developers, 8-Bit Studios is in Poland. One of these developers created a game called This War of Mine, M-I-N-E.
That was 11-Bit Studios.
And it's recognized an anti-war game. Yes, correct. You're right. And the video game itself directly speaks to about the suffering and misery of civilians who are affected by war. And they would like to announce that their company statement is, "We stand against the Russian invasion. Let this message resonate with everyone you know about this war and how war kills people, devastates their lives and homes, and obviously not just the soldiers. Let us, players and developers together, do everything we can to support support the victims of war in Ukraine." Alongside the message, there was other messages from their employees, their CEO, but they have stated that if you purchase the game on any platform, doesn't matter if it's PC, whatever, any platform, that everything would go to the Ukrainian Red Cross to help everybody over there. But there's a lot to read here. We'll post the article. If I keep reading, I'm going to end up crying because it's so heart-wrenching.
Well, I wouldn't want to do the full article.
No,
if anything,
it's quite long. There's a lot of good information from it, and a lot of people are speaking out. But I was curious what you guys thought, that, now that it's kind of reached this tipping point where, like, serious things are happening and people are having to make moves.
Well, I mean, of course, I'm not condoning the war in any way, and I am definitely opposed to the war, opposed to how this has even happened, because I mean, I don't really want to get my full opinion on, like, what's going on overall, even though we know it's fucked up. I mean, just basically, overall, it is completely fucked up, and how all this just freaking happened in a week's time, and then the mood just changed into something darker and darker by the end of the week. But I will say this though, the biggest thing is I mean, 11-bit studios, like for 11-bit studios to kind of step up on this, and then plus, like, what I'm definitely loving is that it's not just 11-bit studios, but like other game developers, especially all the indie game developers, like this is definitely kind of unifying their voice to kind of, try to do something that they can do for Ukraine. Cause, unfortunately, what's happening, like how everything was like, set off like as a powder keg. There's not much like the outside forces, like, NATO and like in US and stuff can fully do, except, support, give them a different way of support, which they are, to do it. So, I mean, I just love it that they're donating 100% of the game, which, by the way, like, if you have not played this War of Mine, I played it a long time ago, and It's a very powerful game. It's a very powerful game. It's not even about the fighting. It's about civilian survival.
Yeah.
And stuff on the 2D on the 2D plane. And it's like exactly how, like if this is exactly how you would probably expect what would happen in something in this kind of situation. This is what is probably going to happen in certain circumstances, So like hopefully it's not something that's going to last, like the war's going to last long, or if it's going to be like, a lingering thing. But like but this, I would definitely urge to get the game, to play this game, and at the same time help support, like, Ukraine, while help support what the cause of them doing this, if they're going to do it. So like, it's just
a heads up, guys, there are other games and developers who are also donating the proceeds of like the first 48 hours of the purchase of the game, of it going, like, Bungie's doing that as well. I believe it's Game to Give. Is a organization, and they're doing a lot right now too. So it's not just 11-bit. There are other ways that you can help, and also be able to get something that could potentially be life-changing on your end emotionally for a game, because we all know that we're emotionally involved in these games, but these are real life people, and these are real life circumstances that are happening, and so there's other ways to help, and in the article it'll state that as well for you guys.
These are scary times, in my opinion, just because this is a worldwide threat. This is a complete just disregard for any kind of law of war, international laws, all kinds of things, to go in and invade a country unprovoked. There's no telling how something like this plays out. Not only that, but then to make the threat that if anybody interferes, they're not saying it, but they're saying it. We have nuclear capabilities. They just took back over the Chernobyl site, and this is something similar. Like, this is something that's been building up. We saw them in Crimea. I think is how you pronounce it.
Years ago.
Yeah, years ago. Similar situation. A lot of it is a resource grab and this and that. Whereas, I mean, number one, obviously, our thoughts are, and I don't even thoughts aren't obviously going to be enough, but I couldn't imagine being over in the Ukraine and having to go through this. I mean, your capital, the capital is they are looming down. I haven't been able to keep up with what's been going on, but that is straight up an invasion that could then escalate from there. We don't know what kind of inner back workings and this and that. This is I love all the support, but this is a scary time. This is something that's been percolating for quite some time. You start thinking about the Berlin Wall, and not the Berlin Wall. Oh my goodness, what was it? What was USSR? The USSR, and didn't they? What did they have? I can't remember. Wasn't there? Huh?
I think you're right. The USSR.
No, the Berlin Wall is Germany.
That was Germany, but there was something in the USSR as well. Because I remember, I could vividly remember seeing pictures and things of that nature. Search, similar to that. But regardless, this is scary. This is, like, to me anyway, and not in a, oh shit, I need to panic and freak out. I don't think that's never a good option. But this is definitely something that we have to watch, because, like, what do you do with the looming threat of, hey, dude, we got nuclear weapons, and we'll use them. That to me is weird, like, ooh.
Well, it's weird because you were saying that he was kind of hinting around it, but no, he said it. I mean, he fully said it. But the biggest thing is, like, I kind of have an issue with, like, and I don't think, like, it just seems like it's kind of. It just came. We're in a situation where we haven't been in this situation in a long time. Overall, like a legitimate superpower to kind of get into this point, to a point, like, we haven't seen this since World War II to be straight into this. So we're kind of getting into the cuffs of what we're wanting to do in the situation that is being that's there in front of us. But the biggest thing is, like, we can only do so much to a certain extent on there. Unfortunately, since Ukraine isn't a part of the NATO alliance, it's like there's, like, our hands are a little bit tied. We did assist. We did assist a little bit with, like, weapons and things like that, like amounts of weapon and stuff like that. But the bigger thing is, like kind of getting back to, like, 11-bit studios and what the indies and stuff are doing to support it as well is exactly what we're doing right now. Right. I mean, we may not be able to defend an injustice like this. To run away, to just invade, but rather, like, it's just but find ways, outside ways to find a way to kind of rise up against this craziness that we're living in right now. Like, you just can't just let it. I mean, just accept it at this point. So that's where I'm kind of. Like, I'm kind of drawn, in between these kind of deals, the deal itself. So I mean, let's hope I just hope that it's where it's going to go, and hopefully it corrects itself is where in the long run, and see where it's going to be.
And also, I'm not sure if you guys mentioned it, but that was the sales over the next week, correct?
Yes. I know some companies have stated, like, 48 hours. I don't know when that started necessarily, like on the 25th. A lot of
so they have different time.
Correct. But 11-bit Studios specifically, there's a lot. Sorry, let me go back up.
Yeah.
All profits from the sales of the game over the next week. So across all stores, all platforms, to go to the Ukrainian Red Cross. So, and that was stated on the 24th was the start of that, was when they gave that statement. So I assume it started that same day or maybe the next, which is today, the 25th. But a lot of other companies have also kind of pitched in as well to state that, you know, like Bungie, for instance, they said like Tiny Build, which is a stakeholder and Secret Neighbor developer. They're in Lviv. There's a lot of games, and it states that in the article again. So if you know the war of mine isn't necessarily your thing, I know Bungie has jumped in on that. I want to say CD Projekt as well. I'm just not sure what game.
I mean, there's only one of two games, either The Witcher or Cyberpunk.
Destiny 2 has also pledged to donate all proceeds raised in the first 48 hours of its Game to Give drive to humanitarian aid efforts. So, there's a few that are doing it, which is really it's amazing because I mean, you know, a lot of the money for these games goes you know back to the people that created them. So it's not something that people are easily like, yeah, I'll give my whole paycheck to this cause. No, it's you know they're really trying to make an effort to help people, and while also not taking it out of the people that have worked on the game's pockets themselves, who also need help and are in Kiev and you know surrounding areas. So. Yeah, I think you are right. I believe it was the Berlin Wall when you had mentioned it earlier. That was USSR in 1961.
It was
East
the Berlin
Germany
Wall?
was the Berlin Wall because they said that they could go in and come out whenever they pleased.
I was like, what, 91, really? Right?
No, 1961.
1961.
When they had stated that they could come and go whenever they pleased. And then eventually...
91 was when it tore it down, right?
Yeah.
That's
they basically were like, we can come and go whenever we feel like, and there's nothing you can do about it. And they were like, oh, really? Yeah, 1961 was when it was built. And then
that's what I thought. But like, as I was saying it, I was just like, wait a second.
No, you're right.
Maybe not.
I was like, no, he's right. I remember history. We forget it real fast after we learn it.
Like my brain is not quite what it used to be, but I remember these weird little things. Like I'll remember little snippets of weird little things.
I feel it.
It's like you just go
something
like
doing something.
It's like you remind like, hey, remember when I could contain memories? That kind of thing. But I will say that it's I would definitely support the cause on this. I mean, personally, this is something I would definitely try to support the cause on this. And
this is a world issue. This is a world issue.
I will be
like seriously, the world that we live in, like the generation that we live in is insane when you really think about it. It is insane.
Well, and it's interesting. We have social media now, but think about it. In World War I, World War II, it wasn't as easy. They just had the news and radio stations back then.
Yeah.
So history, unfortunately, is repeating itself. And I think that as a populace, whether you're a gamer or not, you're kind of watching it unfold. And it's hard for me to swallow the news. I go to certain media outlets that are, you know, more online and not frontline news, because I don't have the patience to sit through commercials, and a lot of the stuff that they talk about isn't what I'm interested in. So I seek out from credible sources. And again, always do your due diligence, guys, because not everything you read, see, and hear is the truth. And right now, you know, that's for Russia. Like, they're being just pumped propaganda at the moment. They can't get anything else.
But there's a lot. There's a lot of, like, there was the tennis dude that made the finals that went and wrote on the camera, "No war." Something or another, wrote it on the lens of a camera. Like, so this has been a worldwide response as far as there's protests in Russia, in Putin's hometown. I can't remember what it is. It's one of the bigger cities, maybe St. Petersburg or something like that. But yeah, so like there's a lot of people that are, you know, St. Petersburg. There's a lot of individuals and groups and people. This is a worldwide response, people, and that's the kind of stuff that they need. Hopefully, I don't know what comes of this, but this is one of those moments where it's like, man, this can go either way, and I couldn't tell you how things play out.
The thing is, it's like it sucks because it's a dictatorship. So like really, with Russia, there's nothing that can be done. The only person that you have to convince is Putin. Is Putin himself. Like,
right.
No one's in control of anything that's being done. Exactly.
Oh, the protesters are not going to be seen again in Moscow.
Yeah, so the protesters, they're not trying to convince the government, they're trying to convince one person, and it's like, and that one person forever has been saying that has not acknowledged this country to be a country.
Well, I think that's where you end up seeing a coup or something like that, and the same things that happened to Gaddafi, where you got things of him just basically getting got because the people eventually revolt because the times are changing. A new generation is coming into their own rights as adults and things like that, and things have been changing very steadily. People don't like change, but eventually it gets to the point where like it doesn't matter what you like or not, it's happening,
right? Which
so.
Also, side note, I don't know if anyone else, because I'm watching the news, I'm sure you guys are too. It's real quick.
I'm not.
They talked about how the Nintendo generation, are not good soldiers because we're just good at pressing buttons. That was very
They
rude.
said we have weak skeletons. Is that what it is?
Weak skeletons and sedentary lifestyle. That we're not good soldiers. How dare you? I'm
good, dude. Because I'm not trying to do all that, man.
All right. No,
I got time for that.
We're old enough to be drafted. So just
for me, I don't have that kind of.
I'm a good drone person. I could fly a drone.
I mean, I just don't have that. Like, I don't like me personally. Like, I don't believe that anybody to like what are you fighting for? Who are you fighting for? We're here for a finite amount of time. Why would I waste my time trying to fight somebody or possibly taking somebody else's life or something like that? Like, I don't want. It's like it seems foolish to me in the name of whatever.
The bigger picture, definitely.
No,
I totally understand.
Now, to protect others who are being invaded on, that's a different story.
Now, I was gonna say, don't get me wrong, dude. That does not mean I will not kill the shit out of somebody, because I would. But I mean, like, I mean, in defending it or in defense, not going out or whatever. But again, I would look for alternatives unless that were the only option in said defense.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, things got things get weird.
Really crazy. That's what it is.
No, I agree. I would.
The whole topic is pretty heavy. The whole topic itself is already pretty heavy as it is. It's kind of like, this is going to be a little bit tricky to kind of go with. But overall, yes, good job on these studios to do what they're needing to do on this. I would strongly support try to support these people as much as they possibly can, and do what you need to do. Do your part is basically where it comes down to, you know.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Agreed. Help out, guys. Do you think?
Smitty.
Yeah. Let's shift gears here a little bit, because video games, and who doesn't like a free video game?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, that's right.
Depends on where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Huh? True. Well, that's
depends
true
on where
too.
It's coming from.
But they just announced that they're going to be making Knockout City free to play coming this June. I think this is fantastic. This game, if you have not had a chance to play it at all, highly recommend playing it. Like I like. If you ever play, like, I love Super Dodgeball, so like this game is like right up my alley, but it's a good fun time, something that's free to play. And I know there's a lot of people that have gotten kind of a little hardcore into it as well, but very, very nice casual scene. And also the studio, they are is Valen, Studios. They are going to be stepping away from working with EA, and they will be self-publishing starting this 6th season that will be coming out here soon as well. So I thought this was pretty huge. I just want to read a quote real quick. It says, this is from one of the folks at Delan. from the day we from the day we founded our studio, we've worked to deliver revolutionary new gaming experiences to you, our amazing community of players. The land writes, we couldn't have introduced Knockout City to the world without the incredible support of EA Originals. But now, as we switch to free to play, the natural step is for us to take our publishing responsibilities and work even more closely with our community. We have exciting plans for Knockout City, and bringing publishing in-house will allow us to fully realize our vision for the long-term future of this game. So again, I think this speaks on EA and how EA sets, and again, I don't know as an outsider, but it seems like they set these goals and set these standards for these studios that are working within their umbrella, and it never seems like I am convinced they are not doing right by them, especially from moves like this. This tells me, number one, they were able to use EA to be able to gauge a fan base and build a fan base for this game. Clearly, they have the numbers to be able to be comfortable with the fact that they say, you know what, EA, keep your money. We're going to, and I don't know how it works. I'm guessing that they might have felt this way for a little bit now, but maybe they had some sort of contract with EA. So as soon as they were able to be like, hey, we can step away now and do our own thing, they are taking that opportunity, which that makes me really excited. Number one, I love the fact that it's going free to play. This has always seemed like, and it always felt like it should be a free-to-play game, even though I have something that allowed me to. I think maybe he's on Ubisoft or no, I'm sorry, it's on EA Play, which means it's also on Game Pass as well. Too much.
You have all the games. You have all the games anyways. Doesn't really matter.
So it always felt like something, and they had the numbers. It's fun enough. It's a fun enough game to where they're going to be able to attract a ton of people to come in and play, especially with it being free to play. So this to me was a super smart move on their end. And then I think them breaking away from EA is more about, look, dude, like we'd like to be able to deliver the content and the ideas that we have. And I think that's more about their own creative properties and being able to control what they do with it, as opposed to having to hit metrics with EA and whatever, those contracts and things look like. So this is exciting. I highly recommend, if you have not had a chance, this is going to be free to play here in June. You should definitely check it out, because it's just one of those good, have fun type of games.
Okay. I just want to know, so I don't think that, so I guess the studio isn't owned by EA, I'm assuming. Like,
it's not owned by EA, right?
So it must have been like in partnership, like EA decided to publish it under the wing under EA. And
right.
And then they decided, you know what, like, it's not worth it. And to be honest with you, EA has always had a bad track record for this kind of stuff, so it's not surprising, in my opinion, that they would want to go this route. Or maybe EA's like what EA was asking for them to do was not logical, didn't make any sense. But no, this game, I have this game too. I don't know if I bought it though. I don't remember buying it. I think it was
free somewhere, dude.
It was free until you hit like a certain level, then you had to pay after that. I think that's how it works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if we're gonna go 100% free, then that's cool, because and then they're probably going by a microtransaction model, like that kind of thing. Which,
like, can I get a refund, please, if I did pay for this? Like, can I get that refund though? Like, come on now.
That's the question though. Like, it's like, was it even like? Yeah, like
I don't know what the cost of it was. Yeah, I can't imagine it being more than like what, $25, $30 maybe.
I think like 20 or $30 sounds about right. Yeah. So but no, I guess the matter is this, like, I'm not surprised. I want to know if hopefully if it's just a retaliation of something or so, you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
On EA's behalf? Well, because it's weird that they decided to. It seems like this announcement kind of came out of nowhere,
Right?
Like it didn't. It seems that it was just like did some like they were just tired of what EA shenanigans or whatever, and then they're like, I mean, I just like to play that kind of weird conspiracy. I'm not saying EA did something particular. It could be just 100% just business,
I feel like this has probably been in the works for a little bit. I feel like this was just some sort of contract expiration date, and they've probably already sussed out like, yeah, we're not going to move forward with you guys. Once the contract finalizes, we're going to move on on our own. This is just more of the formalities of, hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. I just jumped off the cliff. But it's a fun game. It is a fun game. It's more power to them, man. Like I think this is, if they feel like there's successes they can see without using the power of a big publisher like EA, that's more power to them. I'm always for the little guy when it comes to this kind of thing. So yeah. So what do you think, Lex?
I've seen a lot of people play this game. This is definitely something I would play in real life. I'm very much I loved dodgeball. I was on a softball league. I was on a dodgeball league. I was on a kickball league as an adult because I never got to play these games as a kid because my mom had me in a bubble unless I was on the ice. I sucked at kickball. Smitty will tell you I could never catch that goddamn ball, and I was outfield. I sucked until they moved me to second base.
She tried her best.
She
tried her best.
I'm too little. We played at night. I can't see what the
whole team just became about, hey, I just come play kickball and drink booze.
Yeah. Smitty yelled at a guy who stomped on my foot with steel toes one night. That was fun. This is true. Yeah. I was like, oh shit, cops are gonna come. But I've seen a lot of people play and it looks like a lot of fun. It was just something I didn't pick up at the time. And you're right. I think after level 25 you had to pay for it, or it was like $19.99, I think. Is what I found as far as pricing. But I think this speaks more volumes to the fact that nobody really wants to work with EA. I mean, a lot of people have stepped away with them after, all of the stuff that's gone down. Unless you're super into Modern Warfare, I'm not really seeing a lot of people pick up extra stuff from EA. And so good for them for stepping away. Again, this has to be some sort of contract thing, because if EA is the publisher, owned the rights, it would be a little more difficult for them to step away and then do it as a microtransaction kind of deal for the little guys speaking. But I think it's a great game, and I think good for them. You're making moves, and people are watching, obviously, because if they weren't, then we wouldn't know about it, right? So I just think it speaks more volumes about how EA treats people when they're under their thumb, essentially, and it makes me think a little harder about it, I guess would be the best way to put that.
I'm actually surprised that they were actually playing with another company that wasn't them, kind of like it's very weird to me to be like, oh wow, that's what y'all did. Y'all decided to go, y'all decided to do a weird partnership to agree with all this. It's like, okay, so it's like, so be it.
I can totally see them getting bought by somebody, dude. I could totally see it happening. I feel like things have been going south for a while for them. And I know it's a huge company, but it's just like,
it's too big, dude. If EA goes,
but I could totally see it happening, dude.
If EA gets bought by a gaming company, I would hate it. That would, like, as much as you would hate, as much as I hate,
I think EA would get dissolved essentially, and then they just keep the IPs. That's what I would do.
That doesn't make it any better. It's like what I'm saying. It's just like, I'm just saying. It's like, I don't know if I would want. I don't know if I would rather say, okay, we're just going to dissolve it. We're going to keep it on. Like, no company should be owning that kind of creativity or that kind of work. Even though as evil as EA has been in its history, I would still not want to have that to be like, oh, it's now Microsoft owned, or oh, it's Sony owned, or Nintendo owned. I would rather. Yeah, I'd rather it to be like, let it be its own free thing to that point. Because like that is going to that's going to be ridiculous at that point. Like Dragon Age, even like all that stuff. You're talking like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, all this stuff. No, I can't do. I would hate to see that to be owned by like the gaming company. And then plus when the company gets that big, then you're worrying. Then I would worry about like freaking like them trying to, just compete, like their level of competition is just like blah, in my opinion.
And I don't mean necessarily like, because I agree that you start eliminating stuff. I guess some of the IPs that they've mistreated. And I'm sure, it's like I'd love to, and I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be the company itself. We just have to wait for contracts to expire, and then people can make the decision, and that in itself would tell you enough about whatever. But yeah, I just feel like EA has become, and it's so terrible because like that used to be EA Sports. It's in the game. Like that used to be, you know what I mean? Like that's how you knew it was quality. Yeah. Nowadays it's changed so much. It's just like you guys are a shell of what you used to be.
Right.
Yeah, even that.
No, I agree. And I think, once they're out of contract and their NDAs are maybe not as valid, we'll hear more about, what the treatment was like from a small company. And I think that itself will be also very interesting, unless their NDAs stretch out. But I don't know. I mean, as of right now, they probably can't say anything because they're still being run by them for however much longer. So
the real question is though too. It's like can you imagine if if Microsoft decided to say, yeah, we want to buy EA? Then like I don't even know if that's going to go. That would fly.
I don't know that would. Yeah, I don't know that
would. Monopoly
yeah.
at that point, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like Monopoly, it's really subjective in what you're looking at into the deal. Now, depending on the way you're looking into it, I would look into it as because they basically bought the number one size like US video game company, and then the number two is EA. Right. So it's kind of like, so you got the 1 and 2 by one company to have it. Then it's a very good possibility. Now, talking about on the global scale, probably not, because there's other. I mean, you have other companies and stuff, but I guess in an American standpoint, I don't think they can, and I hope they don't. To be honest with you. Because they've already bought 12 big studios already, so like a ridiculous amount of studios already. I mean, Bethesda freaking is gone. It's now Microsoft. You just got what's it called? Activision is in the process of being bought. It's just no.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I would hate them to get it. If it did.
Crazy.
I would. I mean, it's just like it's not like, even though Destiny is not Destiny, but Bungie is a big studio. It's like it's nowhere near as big as those companies.
Yeah, but what their plans though, as far as like with the films and series and stuff like that, I think is a smart ass move. So they didn't pay too much, and I think they'll get a nice return on investment if they go that route for sure.
If they go right, if they do it right, yeah, definitely, yeah. So we'll see, but no, we'll definitely see. Hopefully, we'll if you haven't tried it, if you haven't played this yet, definitely play it. I mean, June
will be free to play. Yeah,
definitely.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, especially at this point, you already know it. So like, you'd be a fool if you were to pay the money now knowing it's coming in June. Like, you can wait. If you haven't played it yet, you can wait.
The guy's just like, I just can't wait.
Yeah, it ain't that serious. If not, hey, I'm not gonna judge you. I won't judge you. All right.
He buys everything. So
it's just hilarious if you did. So
I've been that
guy.
I know you've been that guy.
Yeah, we know. Don't worry.
Yeah, there's no surprising at all. It's not surprising whatsoever.
Nope.
But yeah, so I'm gonna close this up today, and I want to talk about what happened at the beginning of the week. It was I forgot what it was. There was a tournament from Capcom's Cup. Yeah, well, I don't know if it was the finals of Capcom's Cup or not, but it was a finals of it was Capcom's Cup, and they were it was the end of it. Then there was 2 crazy announcements that came by. There was prior to that, I will say, let me just kind of say this first. Last week there was a mysterious ticker that came on Capcom's one of Capcom's websites. They had a countdown of a major announcement that was going to happen sometime this week. So everyone already thought that the worst secret ever told was going to be the announcement of Street Fighter 6. So Street Fighter 6 comes out, and then so there was like, oh yeah, we can't wait to see what the video of Street Fighter 6. So Street Fighter 6 was the big thing. So most people were like, oh, okay, we'll wait, we'll see. So they did announce Street Fighter 6, but they announced something else. You know, it's actually kind of weird. I'm more hyped about the other announcement than I was more hyped about Street Fighter 6. But so now but I will say this, since you're already doing the video of Street Fighter 6. They showed the video of Ryu in the breathing in his with no top, and he's fighting one of the new dudes that they just introduced in Street Fighter 5. But they and then they showed you the new logo of Street Fighter 6. There has been so many memes about this new logo. It's not even funny. Yeah, because like they're just saying that the logo looks very plain, and because then when you look at the history of Street Fighter logos, it's one is the plainest one. And the pictures that they showed, they were like, oh, you could have bought this font or this design from one of these like font studios for like $40, and then you would have gotten it, and then they were doing side by side comparisons and stuff. So they were ruthless, man. They did not. People were just not holding back. It was crazy. So Street Fighter 6, for all we know, is happening. There's going to be more information that's going to come in the summertime this year about it. So hopefully we're going to see some gameplay of it. This game was delayed. It was originally supposed to come out last year. But because of some, actually I think it was a year and a half. No, it was last year. So because of some certain changes on the back of Capcom, they decided to delay it. Add a new season of Street Fighter 5. So Street Fighter 5 has actually been in circulation for about 6 years now. So then they decided to go to give it some more time to tweak to what they were wanting to do it, because it was a brand new staff that was going to be pushing the new version. So hopefully Street Fighter 6 doesn't come as a rocky start as what the original as its predecessor did. I'm looking forward to it because I love fighting games, and I've been messing around with it, so definitely hyped. But the bigger one is this. They when they teased it off, they announced a new Capcom's fighting collection, and this fighting collection is beefy. They have a lot of different kinds of stuff inside here. So you get all the Darkstalkers games, which is Darkstalkers, Night Warriors 2, and Vampire Savior. You also get the Japan only Darkstalkers games, which was Vampire Hunter 2, Revenge, and Vampire Savior 2, The Lord of the Vampires, which is actually they had their own special kind of thing to it. And then they have the anthology of Red Earth. Red Earth is a fighting game of that was with mythological creatures that they created, but it never really came out here into the US. So it was a known fighter that people will definitely like to check out. Then there's also Hyper Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Collection, which is basically Super Street Fighter 2, but there was a hyper version of that came after Super that we never got here in the States either. So yeah. But then the cool thing is that you also got Super Puzzle Fighter, which was like the chibi versions of the characters, like from a Puzzle Fighter, and it was actually a fighting game. And then you had one called Super Gem Fighters. That was another one. Yeah, so that's the one that was also really fun to play as well. So these they have a lot of different cool things. And then they had Cyberbots Full Metal Madness, which is basically one of the characters in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was a person named Jin. He was one of the characters wore all white and stuff. He is from that game, and no one knew where he came from because we never got any of this. So yeah. So they have all this crazy. This is basically the library of Capcom fighting games that most people were wondering, wow, because most people when people think of Capcom, especially here, they think of Street Fighter, and then they think of the Versus games, and then some here and there Rival Schools and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and stuff. But this one is showing all the stuff that they were making throughout their time in the 90s, and stuff that they were doing on Japan side. We're finally getting it here in the States, which I am definitely hyped for. And it's all online, all rollback net code, which is amazing to me. And then they have a little scoreboards and stuff like that, which is, oh man, I don't know.
Dude, I am literally
Vampire Hunters and Night Warrior. Heck yeah.
Yeah, Night Warrior. Yeah.
because like in those times, like some of those look familiar. It's like I played some of those because I lived in Okinawa in the early '90s. So like we were getting stuff, and I forget about the fact that there was things that were coming out there that weren't coming out here. And it's crazy to see that stuff, especially now. I'm just like, oh my goodness! Like they're saying, like for the first time ever, it's like I've played that game. Like, what, dude? Like,
yeah, but you
had crazy.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely gonna get this. I'm not even that big into fighting games, but like I love
it's
this
nostalgia,
stuff.
Man.
It's
nostalgia.
That one with these people, like I absolutely played that game. I couldn't even tell you what the hell the names of them were, but like I was like, I know I played that shit.
Yeah.
Well.
For me, like Sega Genesis Street Fighter, Blanco was like the first character in video game that I got good at. So I haven't really, they got rid of him. And so I was like, screw it.
Did
so
they
I
get
haven't
rid of
played
him?
forever.
No,
they did, and they
he's
kind of
still
brought
there.
him back in like a couple of them, but he's not the same.
Street Fighter 3, yeah,
kinda
makes
like
sense. But
I mean, it's changed so much from where it started to where it is now. Like I won't even touch it. Like for the most part, I don't even touch those games because I watched my brother play it and he got really, really good. I think he was I think it was a Suki. Was it not Suki? The one with the schoolgirl outfit. Whoever that is, Sakura. That's yeah. So like, I would watch and stuff like that, but like at this point, I'm like, nah, dude. I don't. I've always been a button masher. Like you know, I'm like, I try, but I'm like, for the most part, I'm mashing buttons.
I've already read
the guy's like I'm retired.
That's right. That's the kind of some crazy stuff. I'm gonna beat you. I'm like, I'm done.
You're like one and out. You know that kind of thing. But
I love fighting games. The problem is like once I got arthritis and I play so hard on my controllers, I break them after, 6 months. If I were to play a fighting game every day, I'd break it. And so
I'm telling you, you should get one of those those 5 pads that are just buttons, the hit pads.
I know. Man, it looks good. I get why people are making fun of the logo. It's a little cheesy, really. Like that was what you chose. I want to be in the boardroom when they picked that logo. Like, what were the other options? You know what I mean? Like, what were the other options before you decided on that one? Because that looks like something I could have drawn, and I'm mad.
They obviously were looking at a simplistic option, like more, like less is like a less is more mentality. Clearly, they were doing that because they were wanting to like make it their own thing. Because secondly, like I said, new crew, new thing, new time. Because if you really think about it, most like logos and stuff nowadays are not like in your face kind of pop. Yeah, you know that kind of pop.
They've definitely become more simplistic. Yeah.
You know what's funny? Okay, so like while this was happening, I just got an email, for instance, like one of the studios, NIS America, you know, the people who do Disgaea and stuff. So they just emailed me and they said, "Hey, we're changing our logo." And I looked at their logo and it does not look good to me because it's just as simplistic as what they did with Street Fighter. Everyone's going to this weird simplistic look, but it's like, no, it's like, it doesn't work this way. Stop it. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. So maybe that's their mentality of it. So fair enough. But all that matters to me is that they're making good games. They definitely need to have a simpler stuff with 6. 6 needs to have a better introduction to it because it took 6 3 years before it started picking up its steam to kind of.
They had a ton of issues.
Yeah, definitely a ton of issues when it first initially came out. So then, so like I think that once they, that's cool. But in the meantime, I'm more hyped on this. This game comes out in, I believe, in the summertime as well. It's going to be $59.99 when it comes out. But it's literally you're getting 10 games. Yeah, you're getting 10 games for that price. So I think it would be it's a fun thing. I think it's worth it.
And online play.
Yeah, and online play.
Yeah, exactly. That's sick.
Yeah. If you ever seen the other collections, like the other collection that they had, like the beat 'em up collection. Oh, I love that.
I don't think I saw that. No.
Oh yeah, it's like side by side. It's a side scroller collection.
Okay.
Of old school Final Fight, and then like all other games and stuff. It was really cool. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So these collections and stuff are definitely like what we need. I'm picking this sucker up. That's all.
Preservation of video games. I love it.
I will come over and play.
Right.
There it is. There it is.
Right. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening to episode number 123 of the CFG GameCast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Like as always, we will be back again next week with some more awesome and juicy topics. But if you missed this episode live, that is perfectly fine. You can go on Monday. Every Monday morning, we like to release it on all podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, anywhere. So there is absolutely no reason to not listen to our sexy voices.
Ooh.
Oh, wow, nothing there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, guys. But guys, thank you so much for checking us out. We'll be back again. But be sure go to our website, confreaksandgeeks.com, if you're wanting to check out some awesome content. We just talked to this week, we just talked to Evelyn Rose Hall. I can never get her name in that order, but I got it right this time. Evelyn Rose Hall, who is the co-founder of Stegosaur nice. Games, or Stegosoft Games, who did this one cool RPG called Rise of the Third Power, and we had a really cool conversation. So definitely check that out. It was really cool. So once again, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing off. Y'all take it easy.
Bye.